Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. All right, so this is my next installment of the Marvel-ous team up, and we are doing Preacher. Now, I'm behind in my times. I totally missed the last episode where we were to do chapters 7 through 12. Graz did his video. It was awesome. I'm going to try to catch up with this video. I'm going to do chapters 7 through 12 and 13 through 18. Yeah, I'm going to try to catch up in one video. You know that's hard for me because I can talk. And I'm going to use a page from the book of Jay, the Faceless Book Reviews, who was a guest host on the Marvel-ous Team Up's last graphic novel we did. And I'm going to kind of use his way of doing it. I'm going to show some pictures of each chapter and do a little voiceover explaining the chapter, trying to be as brief as possible. 1 or 2 sentences, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully this won't be a crazy long video, but that's what we're going to do. So let's get to it. All right. You remember when we left on chapter 6, Tulip was in a quite precarious situation. Chapter 7 is entitled NYPD Blue. We discover that Cass's friend and connection in New York City is the actual serial killer, and he has set up Cass, Jesse, and Tulip. The plot is foiled by Johnny, the most unlucky cop in New York City. Chapter 8, All in the Family, we learn Jesse's origin story, and it ain't pretty. We also get Tulip's backstory. Jesse and Tulip get held captive by Jesse's family. Chapter 9, When the Story Began, more of Jesse's backstory and his parents' backstory. His mother's family is very sadistic. Chapter 10, How I Learned to Love the Lord. We learn that Jesse left Tulip to protect her from his horrible family. After Jesse has told her everything, we are back in the present, and Tulip loves Jesse even more. Oh, and then Jesse's family blows Tulip's head off. Chapter 11, Partners. The family think that eliminating Tulip will help them gain control over Jesse again. Jesse talks to his imaginary friend, John Wayne, and gains the strength to confront his evil family. Oh, and Tulip is brought back to life by God. In the final chapter of Book 1, Chapter 12, Until the End of the World, Jesse takes out his evil family and even blows up his evil grandmother. Then, Jesse finds Tulip alive and pledges his love for her until the end of the world. Well, that was exciting. Now let's see what Book 2 of Preacher by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon has in store for us. Chapter 13, Came a Pale Rider. Yeah, Jesse and Tulip, they get a room and do some catching up. And then we are introduced to Jesus de Sade, a decadent rich man who throws decadent rich parties for the rich and famous. We also meet Featherstone, Hoover, and the assassin Bosch, all of the secret organization known as the Grail. Well, Jesse, Tulip, and Cass finally meet back up. And, just so you know, the Grail are after Jesse. All right, Chapter 14, Boys Will Be Boys. Well, we meet Freddie and Bob, 2 thugs working with Jesus de Sade to procure some heroin for one of his famous sex parties. Well, we find out that Cass's girlfriend has recently died from a heroin overdose, which was provided to her from Freddie and Bob. And now the gang has decided that they're going to crash Jesus de Sade's party so that they can get their hands on these 2 scoundrels, Freddie and Bob. Well, I don't know if our group is actually prepared for the debauchery they're going to find at one of Jesus's parties. But they better watch out because the Grail is also going to the party to try and catch Jesse. In Crashing the Party, Chapter 15, some serious shenanigans and buggery ensues. Eventually, everyone converges onto this soiree at Jesus de Sade's mansion. And let's just say a lot of stuff happens. All right, we're really getting somewhere now. Judgment Night, Chapter 16. Well, we've got more debauchery, sex, drugs, shooting, killing, more debauchery, more sex, more drugs, more shooting, more killing. Yeah, everything. It's really starting to go down in this chapter. And then the Grail captures Cass. Now, they, for some reason, think that he's Jesse. They also capture Tulip, so they split them up in two separate vehicles, and they're going to take Cass, I guess, to a secret location that the Grail owns. But Jesse freaks out, chases after, and was able to capture or recapture or rescue Tulip from the Grail. All right, a lot happens here in Chapter 17, Miracle Man. Cass is flown to a hidden Grail fortress called Masada. Jesse uses his voice to find out the location from one of Tulip's captors. We also learn that the Grail has been protecting the bloodline of the Messiah all these years and want to use Jesse and his voice of God to begin Armageddon. The Grail discover that Cass is not Jesse, and for some reason, he doesn't die. And lastly, Chapter 18, Texas and the Spaceman. Yeah, so when Jesse and Tulip are in the airport to go find Cass, Jesse meets up with an old army buddy of his father's from Vietnam. He learns the story of the lighter, the commemorative lighter, that they all were given by no other than John Wayne. It's a poignant scene and very touching at the end. And somehow I did it. I actually caught up. Yep, I know, it's a lot. 12 chapters of one graphic novel in one short video, hopefully short. Yeah, I gotta say, if you watch my first episode in this series, I wasn't really digging this so much. Graz loved it. I love the artwork. I don't know, it was the pacing of the story or something. I just wasn't digging it too much. But getting into Chapter 7, wrapping up that first storyline, starting to develop the characters a little bit more, I did appreciate the next 6 chapters better. But when I got into Book 2, Chapter 13, it changed. Now, I did read the preface of this, and there was a different team working on this, publishing it, developing it, and that changed right before Chapter 13. And even the sales and everything, even though it was popular already, really took off starting with Chapter 13, from what I understand. And I got to be honest with you too, I've really fallen in love with it as of Chapter 13. I don't know. Again, the pacing was a little bit more relaxed, more like they weren't rushing, just trying to make this book successful. They really started getting into their groove and developing this story a little bit more deeply, I guess, and more at a laid back pace. Maybe it's just me because I could enjoy it more. It was maybe too frantic and just viscerally in your face, trying to grab you and choke you at the beginning. And I don't think I was ready for it. Now I understand how it's going, and I'm already starting to dig it. Yeah, Chapter 13. Can't wait to see what Graz says. But now we're caught up. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing some Welcome to Rockville videos. So my reading is taking a back seat, even though I got to get on You Like It Darker by Stephen King as soon as possible. And a lot of stuff coming with the summertime. So anyways, I finally caught up. If you enjoy any of my videos, any of the content I'm trying to create for everyone here, please like, please subscribe, please leave me comments. I wish I got more comments. I really do. I always say I want comments, but I really would like a little bit more interaction with people out there. But anyways, as usual, until next time, peace out.